Hello, and welcome to this Service Point training video on how to create referrals. Referrals are commonly used to connect clients with other agencies for services or housing. If you've done service referrals, chances are you'll recognize some of the things covered here. This training will focus on referrals used for by name lists in the coordinated access system in the context of the OR 501 continuum of care. Here is an overview of the general workflow. The process in Service Point flows from the start when a client approaches an agency until they are housed and the follow-through procedures after. Our coordinated access system and by name lists are driven by the referrals. We create referrals to get people on the list and then close the referrals when the person acquires permanent housing. This video is going to focus on the first part of that process, getting people onto the list by creating a referral. Before you start, be sure you have everything in place. Having all the ingredients ready makes the process go much smoother. Remember to always input the ROI first and then adjust the visibility locks. The referral can be done before or after your data entry step. However, be sure to follow your agency's prescribed workflow and be consistent. To create a referral, we'll be covering these 5 steps in the blue box: service code, refer to provider, needs referral date, date of need, and save all. A couple of things to know ahead of the referral: which lists are you referring to? And what service code will you be using? We'll cover more about them in just a moment. Anyone who would like to follow along and practice in the training site, please pause the video now. Resume once you've created a practice client, transacted the ROI, and unlocked the visibility to the corresponding by name list or coordinated access visibility group that the referral will be directed to. Once you're ready, let's begin.
First, go to the Service Transactions tab, where you'll see this dashboard. For a brand new client record, as in the record was just created so you know there aren't any referrals, we can proceed directly to add referrals. For an existing client record, it's possible that someone else may have already referred this client. That might save us some work, plus we want to avoid duplicate referrals that bog down the list. Let's see where those are. From the same Service Transactions tab, click View Entire Service History, and here you can see all the needs, referrals, and services that were provided to this client. Go to the Referrals tab to filter to just the referrals. In this example, there are no outstanding referrals, so we can continue by clicking Add Referral. Alternatively, if you find out that the client does have an outstanding referral to the list, that's great. They're already on the list and you don't need to create another referral to the same list. We'll cover this screen in 3 parts to better fit in this training. In the top right, you can see a tiny version of it with the green box to indicate which part of the form we're on, the top, middle, or bottom section. Starting at the top, step 1 is to select the service code. This tells us a little bit more about what type of need the client is being referred for. Common service code types are housing/shelter for the veteran by name list and outreach programs for coordinated access. Always refer back to the specific training guides and instructions for each list to determine the appropriate code. From the quick list, the main box at the top, select the service code and click Add Terms. If there is a service code that you use regularly at your agency and would like to add to your unique quick list, please reach out to your local administrator. Scrolling down to the middle section, we are at step 2 and 3. Pick the provider you're referring to and enter the needs referral date. The provider in this case refers to the list, such as the veteran by name list or the coordinated access for adults or families list. Pick the list you're referring to from the drop-down menu and click Add Provider. You should see the name pop up under Selected Providers. If you added one by accident, you can remove the selection by clicking the red circle with the minus sign next to the one you want to remove. Set the needs referral date to match the date the client consent was obtained for the ROI. Keep this date in mind because we'll use it again in the next section. Scroll down until you get to the bottom section. Here we have a convenient display where you can review what you've entered so far. the referred to provider, the service code type, and the client who is being referred. The little checkbox must be checked for your referral to be added properly. Right below that is the need date. The ROI consent date also goes in here. Fill in the same date, and once you've completed all the steps, hit Save All to complete the referral. Save All creates both the referral and a corresponding need with the service code type we entered earlier. All right, you've created the referral. Nice work. A successfully completed referral will look like this. You may have to go to the Entire Service History tab if you can't see both the need and referral. In case you notice something that needs to be corrected, say you accidentally entered the wrong year, 2018 instead of 2017, you can click the little pencil on the left to edit. Let's look over your referral. Double check that there's a need and a referral, both dates match, and the type is right. Just as a side note, there are some exceptions where the date of need may be different from the referral date, but that's outside the scope of the general workflow. Now, if you're feeling comfortable with that, here's a bit more advanced move to take your service point expertise to the next level. If you have a client who is appropriate for multiple lists and they provide consent for each list on the same day, you can use this move to create multiple referrals at once. Similar to the single referral process, you select your code and add terms, then do it again to add another code, if applicable. For this example, we'll pick outreach programs and housing/shelter, the two most common ones. Add the referred to providers one at a time, and then you'll see something like this box below. Your referred to providers may be different from the example. Make sure to select just one type to match with each list, because we only want one referral per list. If all 4 boxes were checked, Service Point would create 4 new referrals. We don't want that in this case. Create only one active referral for each list.
Some things to consider after the client has been referred. If you have missing universal data elements like veteran status, disability questions, and the chronic homelessness questions, be sure to go back and fill them in. A complete record will tell us what other lists they may be eligible for and can improve the process of getting them into housing as efficiently as possible. Certain programs may require additional screening elements to complete as well. Keep the client's information up to date, especially their contact info, so we can develop a relationship and we can reach them when a housing opportunity becomes available. The process doesn't end with the referral. As a community, we work together to match clients with the most appropriate services and housing. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the referral report. This report's a great way to check if you did your referrals properly. You'll find it in the Canned Reports section. When you run it with your login provider and select Outgoing Referrals and leave the referral status to Outstanding, click Build Report, and it will show you all the outstanding referrals made at your provider to all external providers and lists. The report can be run with or without a date range. Also, you can sort the referrals by clicking the column headers. Click the header again to change between ascending and descending orders. Congratulations! You've reached the end of this training on how to create a referral. The final note summarizes a few key points to remember. Be aware that there can be slight differences to workflow elements depending on the program or list. If you're not sure, refer to the program handbook or check with your admin. ROI and the visibility lock must be completed before the referral. Always check for outstanding referrals in existing client records, and remember that the referral date and the date of need should match the ROI consent date in your general workflow. Thanks for watching. We hope you've learned something new, and always feel free to contact your local administrator if you have any questions.